You're in for a treat today. We're going to be breaking down one of the best rookie CrossFit athletes in the world today, Amy Kringle. Now, this woman is absolutely exceptional. She's taken the world by storm with her CrossFit prowess, that was a big word, wasn't it? Over the last few years, and I've been very fortunate enough myself to not only train with her, but help her out a little bit of her technique as well over the years. She's got an absolutely incredible coach though, Mr. Fraser, shout out to you. So I hope you'll enjoy this technique review just as much as I will, and give you a couple of pointers that's gonna take you into this season, hopefully winning some medals. Guys, remember, there's always lessons that can be learned from top athletes and top lifters, and this one's no different. This just goes to show an absolutely incredible young female athlete snatching 80 kilos, but still with some technical flaws that could unlock some huge progress in her snatch numbers and hopefully help you improve yours too. I just want to say a little personal thank you to you guys as well for enjoying these videos that I've been doing from a technical standpoint. Very much appreciate the support on this, and I'm glad that they're helping you guys hit so many new numbers. Remember, when it comes to progressing in Olympic weightlifting, knowledge is everything. If you can understand what is the thing that's actually holding you back, it allows you to appropriately program around exactly what you need to be focused on to fix those problems. This is what speeds up progress, and this is exactly what we do inside the lifting zone on a daily and a weekly basis with our clients. Helping them understand exactly what's preventing them from progressing allows us to program appropriately, them to work on the right things, and you guessed it, hit new PBs and improve their technique. But I'll shut up now and get into this technique review. I'm gonna press play. Shout out Wildlife. Yes, I did nick this video clip from you guys. Beautiful slow-mo footage, thank you. Okay, let's break it down. Let's get into it. Let's just go straight from start position. Now, there's something I want you to notice here, particularly in Amy's lift right from the start position. You'll see that she is very strong in her upper body, carrying quite a lot of muscle mass, which is absolutely incredible. However, it does impede her ability to set her shoulders back and down and get her chest up at the start and create, don't be sick on this video, please. Please don't be sick on this video. And create good thoracic extension here, which is exactly what we want to be seeing from the setup. Now, it differs person to person, but the better thoracic extension you can get at the start of the lift makes it easier for you to keep the chest up and ultimately use the legs from the floor. That's what we want to see happening. If you struggle with your thoracic mobility, don't forget to go and check out the mobility manual. That's all you need when it comes to fixing your mobility. We'll progress on. As she initiates from the floor, you'll see the bum lift in the first phase from the floor. Again, that can be quite normal for even top lifters, even myself, when you're getting up to your maximal lifts. Now, I know Amy snatched around 88, potentially as a PB. This is 80 kilos mid-workout, so it's still in excess of 90%. We see that bum lift in that first phase, and as soon as that happens, the big thing that occurs as an issue for me is as a result of that, we start to see this rounding happen here in the shoulders, and the back then start to get quite parallel to the floor. Now, as a result of this, what you'll notice when she reaches knee height, we see a little bit of toe lift happening here. What's interesting is as Amy's toe lifts, the foot twists out as she comes in through to a second phase. Now, I believe, in my opinion, the result of the early arm bend happening, which is quite evident at this point, is more so to do with the fact that the legs have got too straight and the weight's gone back into the heels, so she's bringing the weight back to a midline, to a center of gravity. I feel like if we can get better posturing from the start, i.e. setting the shoulders and letting the lats engage, almost feeling like you're putting a pen underneath the armpit and you're pinching here, if we can get her doing that better from the floor, I think we'd minimize the amount of early arm bend that would happen at this point. And then obviously through into extension, although she's got a great level of knee bend, which is ultimately why she gets good vertical extension and her shoulders are over the bar, the foot has moved into this new location in order to extend. The big thing for me would be that what I would want to change to fix this is that if you see foot movement like this happening, i.e. moving into an ideal extension position, then why not just put the foot there at the start? What I'd like to see Amy doing is starting with the toes a little bit more turned out. She is quite tall, so this would probably help her actually sit her hips a little bit lower at the start position, which will in turn help get the chest up better and also load the legs and minimize this weight shift back into the heels. So by turning the toes out slightly, what I'd also get Amy to focus on is thinking about just spreading the floor, keeping the knees where they are, because I like that because they're sat over the midfoot, which is where we want them. But this would just allow her to get that chest up a little bit better and let the arms hang. Through into extension position, the legs come into play really nicely. And you'll see as she hits her full extension, we see pretty good extension in the final point of the legs. But I'm telling you now, if we make the change to the foot, I think what we'd see is these legs snap even straighter in this position, which would help her get even more height on the bar through her extension. What she does really well is she keeps her head completely neutral at this point, and you'll see that she does a pretty good job here when she comes through letting the chest be the leading point, which is really, really good to see. But obviously because the arms are bent when she's coming into extension, because of the sheer force that's going into the leg extension, this is actually causing the arms to straighten a little bit through extension. And this can take a little bit out of the power that's transferred through the extension phase. So what I'm saying here is as the legs are kind of striking at this point, her arms are going straight, so there's no height being gained in the bar, which is ultimately what we're trying to do through this most explosive part of the lift. Watch the feet now as she transitions into the receive. The tracking of the bar work stays really close, which is great. You see she keeps the elbows higher than the hands, and the transfer here is so good. She leaves minimal space. The feet very slightly move, but not a massive amount. Now that's not the end of the world. However, what I'm gonna say is if we help improve mobility, particularly in the adductor area here, so she can sit with the feet a little bit wider, what that's gonna do is that's gonna change her torso position. So instead of it being so far leant forward, what we'll see is the torso will start to sit, from my experience, a little bit more upright. Not only will that unlock a little bit further depth for Amy in the receiving position, but it will also, and this is the most important thing that people forget about mobility in the shoulder, take excessive pressure off the shoulder in this point. If you get internal rotation happening in the catch, which is super common, which I see here, especially if people struggle with thoracic mobility, this will happen as a result of the chest dropping. This puts excessive pressure on the front side of the shoulder, which again makes it difficult for you to load the legs when you're standing up at the bottom. And this is ultimately why when you see Amy come to stand out, the bottom, she favors the strength in her hips and in her glutes to stand up at the bottom position rather than in the quads at this point, which causes the arms to kind of sit into this U shape, which could result in us sometimes missing the bar backwards or forwards. There's going to be inconsistency there as a result of this. So how would I help Amy improve that? One thing that I think would be super beneficial for Amy would be to work eccentrically on her overhead squats. So I'd get used to overhead squatting with a slightly wider stance, and I'd really focus on a tempo eccentric phase to develop strength in the lowest phase of the movement. What I also like to think about is when I'm standing up out the bottom position, instead of just thinking like I'm jumping on an accelerator, imagine if you're in a powerful car, you jump on the accelerator and the back end snakes and goes like this. What we're doing when we stand up or we change direction is we're pushing smooth. That way she can hold good shape and minimize the likelihood of the chest dropping and the bar dropping forward or back when she comes into the receiving position. I'd suggest her practicing this between 90 and 100% of her 1RM snatch for 3 repetitions. Building this in as a warm-up exercise was super beneficial for her, particularly to help correct that issue. And the exercise that I'd utilize particularly for her to help with that new foot stance would just be dead pulls, and even doing some high pulls, practicing the change in position. So toes a little bit more turned out, feet spreading, and practice that foot not lifting up during the pull. Once she's mastered that, I would drop the weight back down probably to around 60% and do 1 pull, 1 snatch so that she can carry over the good execution from the pull into classical movement. That's gonna fix this lift. That's gonna see her snatch towards 100 kg because I know she's a very, very strong girl. Guys, that gives you an insight into what we do at the lifting zone. Like I said, having that understanding of analysis allows us to give a real clear approach on what we're gonna program to fix the issues that's gonna yield results. That coupled with regular feedback and analysis on your weekly training is what's gonna speed up the results and guarantee you a result. I see so often when I speak to people, they don't get the right advice or the right understanding of what's going wrong, and then just end up spinning around in circles trying to fix something that isn't actually a problem. And ultimately, sometimes using the wrong exercises to do it, which is doubly bad. We save you time. Go ahead and check us out by heading to theliftingzone.com. If you want to book in a call with me to find out whether it's me and my team can help you out with your lifting, then all you need to do is comment below this video, lift like Amy, and my team will reach out to you. We can have a chat, and you could, in the next 12 weeks, be hitting some new PBs with better technique.